we don't realize how much the toxins within us is affecting our mood, our sleep patterns, our hormones, everything. It affects everything. There's things in this world that we cannot control. We cannot control the air that we breathe, which have toxins in them. So I'm a big advocate on detoxing. I'm Kristy Austin. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to Lux Media Studios. Hello, welcome to Whole-ly Chit. I am your host, Kristy Austin, here to tell you that you are whole. Chit, a Sanskrit word that means pure consciousness, what we're all here for, right? So I'm really excited to introduce our guest today. She is a detox coach, which is right on time because we all need a little bit of that, especially after the holidays. We all need a little detox in our life. So we are back from the holidays with Cheryl Mitchell, Detox Coach. We all need a little detox in our life after after this holiday season. So please give a warm welcome of applause to Cheryl.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Glad to be
Yes,
here.
Cheryl, you know what I realized is that as much as we've hung out and gotten to know each other, I haven't heard your story on your healing journey. What got you into this? Would you mind sharing a little bit of that?
Absolutely. I was thinking about that too. I'm like, I don't think she knows that. I don't think I've even shared it like publicly in a little while, besides like at my retreats and things. So yes, I would gladly like to share how I got into this field and why I'm so passionate about it. Um, so my kids are about 1 and 2. They're older now, 13 and 14. So it's a while ago. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I was seeing a hematologist for lupus and some other things. At this point in life, I think I had cervical dysplasia before, and if you don't know what that is where you have the cancerous cells on your cervix. And I do the biopsy and everything. I had to have the surgery done, and they said I would never have kids. So I just had a lot of medical issues up to that point. And that's when I started looking into alternative ways to support my body, work with my body, so that I wouldn't be on a ton of medication. The only medication for any sort of nerve issue is antidepressants. And I did have a little bit of depression after having my second child. So I had already known what that felt like. And I'm like, I'm just not going that route. And then these just a plethora of medications for different things, because once you have something for insomnia, then that affects, another system in the body. So you need something for this, you need something for IBS. It was just so much. That's when I started changing my diet. And for me, then eating clean was buying this frozen chicken breast, buying these, frozen veggies, just whole foods and different things of that sort. And the internet definitely is not was not then what it is now. So just doing the research that I could, I just started from there, just trying to incorporate, other ways of working with my body. Like I said, I grew up in rural Midwest, very country town, 2 stoplights. That I was not introduced to alternative medicine. I wasn't introduced to anything outside of go to the doctor because doctor knows best. So that was my introduction to it. And from there, that's when I just started diving deeper and deeper. And I think it got a little deeper 3 years after that, when I went to the hospital and I had a kidney infection. I was in ICU for 7 days. I couldn't see my kids because kids weren't allowed on the ICU level. I had a drain in my back. And that was just my hardcore turning point of something has got to change. I really have to take my health into my own hands. Um, and I just went down the rabbit hole from there and haven't turned back. And at that point, I got a started school and got a bachelor's degree in alternative medicine. I became a yoga instructor. Just that was just the beginning of let's turn some stuff around, and I turned all of those things around. And zero medication, kids on vaccines. Just that was just the beginning.
Thank you for sharing that, Cheryl. And I just want to point out that you speak so eloquently and with such grace as if it didn't affect you. And I know the things that you're saying are to the core painful. Like imagine you just have a child. Well, you went through it, but I'm asking our audience, imagine you just have a child, you're suffering with depression, your body is aching in pain. That's what biology is, right? You have pain all over your body. Is that correct? I might be wrong.
Yes, yes,
So you're having pain all over your body. You find out you have cancerous in your uterus. I'm sure you're also concerned if that's going to affect your ability if you want to have children. And all these emotions and pain and depression and guilt and feelings of will I ever feel better again? Will I ever, overcome this? The doctors don't seem to know. They're just trying to put me on more medication and more medication. And like you said, those medications, you look at the side effects and it's like hair loss, weight gain, death. It has like every side effect. So it's like, okay, well, how do insomnia? Well, now I had depression and now I have to fix the insomnia because now I have insomnia. And then that pill has its own uh label of side effects, and it's just this ongoing thing that we don't realize. Before you know it, you have a counter with like 12 medications and you're like, how did I get here? And I don't feel any better. If anything, I feel worse. So I think a lot of times, I tell everyone this, we all need to detox our body. We don't realize how much the toxins within us is affecting our mood, our sleep patterns, our hormones, everything. It affects everything. And we have parasites. Even if you don't think you do, you have parasites. Like there's things in this world that we cannot control. We cannot control the air that we breathe, which have toxins in them. So I'm a big advocate on detoxing, but I just want to give you kudos for coming to that realization in the holistic way, because I know that's hard for a lot of people, especially when we've been born to say, doctor knows best, and the doctor says take this prescription and this and this and this, and before you know it, you're going, what do I do? You feel lost. What can I do to help myself? The doctor doesn't seem to know. How can I feel better? And really at that point, you just want to feel better. You know, you're you I'm putting myself in your shoes right now. All those emotions of pain, cancer, a new child, because I suffered with a uh, postpartum depression with my twin daughters, and I lied. I never told the doctor about it. I was afraid of being put on medication. So I did not, I lied about it. Everybody would say, how do you feel? I'm great. I put on that fake smile. So a lot of people, unless you've suffered it yourself, don't know uh, the pain, the pain that comes from. So thank you for sharing and bringing awareness to this, and also letting people know that there is hope. That there is hope. Now, with your detox, is it herbs, strictly food? Is it strictly diet, or does it have a combination of other therapies?
So that's a big thing that's going on right now. New year, new me. I want to do a cleanse. I want to detox. I think we start using the term detox too loosely. Detox was actually, taken from the addiction recovery realm, and we've just started, glorifying it and making it as a cute selling point for in the nutrition world. But nobody's really educating on the difference between the cleanse and a detox. So with the detox, you are always going to use herbs because the detox is focusing on what is coming out of my body. What am I extracting? Because you're trying to pull things out of there whether it's parasites, whether it's a heavy metal, you're pulling things out.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people confuse that with a cleanse. When a cleanse is that's when you're just focusing on what goes into your body. So I'm just gonna maybe eat all fruit. I'm just gonna do juice. I'm just gonna do water. You're focusing on being very intentional about what goes in, but a detox is always going to focus on what's coming out. So my detox does consist of quite a few different things. It's definitely going to consist of herbs, and these herbs are a blend of herbs that are going to help with heavy metal, parasite, all of those different things. Because that gut microbiome, um, so many things could be going on with that, and we want a one size fits all type of deal, and that's just not how it works. And because I've been down that road, because I've done just about every cleanse, diet, fad things out there, what I've learned is you can do whatever you want with trying to extract these things, which I did in the beginning. But once I was deep into this healing journey, I got cervical dysplasia again, and that brought my awareness to the emotional piece. So on top of the herbs, I also have a emotional piece to the detox, because you really have to be really aware of what are you taking in, from the shows that you watch to the conversations you have to the books you read. Um, and then there's the physical piece. I can, I can cut off social media. I can just meal prep all this week, but how am I moving? All these toxins start to come up. They have to have a way out. And there's more than one way for them to be eliminated than just through the colon. So my detox comes with a workbook, and each week you'll have a goal. You have an emotional goal, there's the nutrition piece, and then there's physical. So I'm walking you step by step, and in 30 days you are completely a different person, which is what you have to be once you eliminate all these things.
Believing Before Seeing, a new bestseller by Candace Barr. Order your copy today.
Which is what you want, which is why you start in the first place. You don't want to feel down and toxic anymore and not able to move or get out of bed. You don't want to be depressed. So when you started this journey, could you feel the change within yourself? How has it affected you?
Oh, absolutely. When I first started, like I say, it was no information out there, and I want to say that is why I'm so passionate about it. I want to be that person that you can go to and feel supported. A lot of us, we're the only person in our household that is doing something like that, and that's another conversation we don't have enough. Is when you don't feel supported, that's when you backslide.
Right.
So in the beginning, not having a lot of support and different things, I started very gentle and what was just societally accepted, what was like a social norm. And that was like the Daniel fast in the beginning. And then, little things like that. But even just something that simple, I felt a huge difference from that in 7 days, just
Mhm.
because I was giving my gut a chance to
Right.
relax.
For those that don't know, what is the Daniel fast?
So the Daniel fast is in the Bible. So that's what a lot of Christians will talk about. It's just 7 days of clean eating. So a lot of whole foods. Some people don't eat hooves, so nothing, no pork or anything. But then my religion, I grew up 7 Day Adventist. It would just be a vegetarian diet for a week.
Okay, so you started that way, and just doing that, did you start to feel better?
Oh, I started to feel so much better that if I knew I was about to go on a trip or something, if I knew I had high anxiety about something, I would Daniel fast. That was my trick. Anybody say, "Oh, I'm feeling sluggish" or this or that, Daniel fast. I would throw that out there because that just did so much, and you did so little. You didn't have to buy anything, you didn't need anyone else. That's something you could control.
And you had mentioned the support in your that's surrounded around you, because it's true. Once you start to change within and grow and evolve, a lot of times the people around us are looking at us like we grew two heads. What's wrong with you? You know, and it's hard. It's hard because we want to live in our power and our truth. But how do you do that when the people don't seem to recognize you anymore? Your own loved ones don't recognize you anymore, and that can be a transition within itself. How has it affected, like, your children, let's say? Have they gotten into this as well, or are they still kind of like, that's just let mom do her thing?
At this point, and with all the knowledge I know, they don't have a choice. This is what I'm gonna buy at my house. This is what we're gonna do. They will juice cleanse once a week. When I go teach yoga, they will be in the back of the class. So they know now we got to get on board with what mom has going on. In the beginning, I did give them, an option, but I found myself a lot of times making two different meals and all these things. And I'm now so gung ho in my journey, and I just believe in it so much that they'll thank me later. You're gonna do
Yes, there's no option.
no.
Mom says what mom cooks, and that's that. That's great. But you know what? You're teaching them young that there's other alternatives to than just running to the doctor. If you have an issue, say whatever it is, there's an herb for everything. Literally any problem that you have, there is an herb for. And because of our ignorance and not we don't know this knowledge, we just trust the doctors. So it's almost like we have to become our own doctors and learn the things that will help ourselves, because the doctors don't care anymore these days. I'm sorry if you're a doctor, there are some good ones out there in my experience, let's say. um Most doctors just don't care. They really don't.
And
So,
honestly, they don't know. They can't tell you something they don't know. They spent all this money thinking they're gonna come out and heal people when you weren't aware that you're going to be practicing medicine your whole career. You're just given a band-aid for a symptom. That's all they literally know how to do. So at this point, I don't even fault them anymore, because you can't tell me something you don't know. But
yeah,
what I
it's
don't
not what
like,
they learns. It's not the
right,
yeah.
but what I don't like are the doctors that scare you into my way or no way. I just think that is unethical. I think everybody should have a choice. And like my brother-in-law had cancer, my father had cancer, and the doctors
Oh
literally
no.
scared them into, you can try that, but I'm telling you now, this is your death sentence and blah blah. Like, you should be saying words like that to your patients. If that's their choice, that's their choice.
That is crazy. That really is crazy. And a lot of people don't know my story with my mother. When I was 10, um, I remember it was a heat wave. I was naked in my grandma's bed, and my grandma came in. My mom's in the hospital. She had collapsed on a set. That she was an actress, so she had collapsed on the set. And my grandma came in and said, "Your mom's not going to make it." The doctors had already written her off, saying she was going to die. They were going to do an experimental surgery, but they had never seen what she had. She was born with a twisted bile duct, and they had never seen that before. They had never done a surgery on that before. They were going to experiment on her. And they were talking about her in the room as if she was dead, because she was not able to talk. She was unconscious, but conscious. So she could hear everything going on, but they didn't realize that she could. So when they left the room and she came to, she pulled everything out of her arm and stumbled out. I remember her showing up at my grandma's house in a hospital gown, asking my grandma to pay the taxi cab, and my grandma yelling at her, "Get back there." And she's like, "They're going to kill me. They were going to kill me." And here my mom is, what, 30, 32, 33 years later, still alive. Like, so she listened to her instinct, her intuition, but she was told that there was no way she was going to live. My grandma told me that at 10. The doctors had told her she wasn't going to make it. So the doctors are not always right. I
They're
like,
not. And what we know about energy now is in our subconscious. And, Joe Dispenza just does this so great and speaks about it so great. Like, you are your thoughts. Whatever you're thinking, that is what's going to happen. So if a doctor is telling you wholeheartedly believing that he's telling you, I'm not going to make it, you're not going to make it because you don't believe that you can.
Right. Right.
Like
Yes.
play on that emotional piece and that mental piece. And I just think it's so unethical.
Yes, 100%. Well, I'm so happy that you shared your journey with us today. If people want to find you, do you have an email, a website? You are the Organic Sunshine on Instagram. Is there any other platforms people can find you on?
So Organic Sunshine on Facebook and Instagram. And then my email is just Cheryl at organicsunshine.co. And my website, organicsunshine.co.
And other than being a detox coach, you also do teach yoga and do cacao ceremonies. Is that correct?
Yes, I do cacao ceremonies. So the magic of my business is the retreats. I started doing those about 5 years ago, right after I had became a certified yoga instructor. I just had such profound experience when I got my certification. I did it in a month in Jamaica, and near the mountainside, and a lot of people doesn't even know Jamaica has mountains. So I started doing my retreats from there, introducing people to a more holistic way of living. um, and outside of that, I do yoni steaming just because I'm so passionate about, women's reproductive health. I do a lot of with herbology, energy work, Reiki.
Well, thank you so much, Cheryl, for joining us today. I really appreciate all that you do for the community and sharing your knowledge and wisdom, because it is much needed, especially during this time. Um, so thank you so much. I love and appreciate you. I hope to have you on again sometime soon. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Whole-ly Chit. Please stay tuned next week for an all new episode of Whole-ly Chit.